Hi everybody, it's me Jill and welcome to Jill Informed. This is the recap of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Season 9, Episode 15. One Wedding and a Polygraph. God. Alright, I'm going to be watching this as I film, so let's get started. Well, this episode opens with Lisa Vanderpump and apparently the newest housewife, John Sessa. They are going to meet the polygraph examiner who is giving Lisa a lie detector test. This is so stupid. I haven't gotten the chance to read all your comments from last week yet, but I know some of you guys are saying this polygraph test is a joke because it's somebody she hired and she probably gave them the questions to ask her, or she knows the questions she's going to be asked. I don't think this is going to prove anything. First of all, the stuff that we already know, which is, I guess she herself did not give that story to Radar Online because the owner of Radar Online said she didn't. So, I have no idea if he could be paid off. I don't know. I just think this is like Lisa going to an extreme. Honestly, somehow this polygraph test seems more suspicious to me than if she didn't take it at all. You know what the real problem is? I don't find this hard to believe. There's no proof. I don't think anybody on the other side has shown any kind of definitive proof, like to my way of thinking, that Lisa was behind all of this. But the fact that they suspect she is, and the fact that I wouldn't put it past her, that's the stuff that speaks louder than anything else, right? Because it's in her nature to do that kind of stuff. Lisa Vanderpump is very conniving. Did she do this? I don't know. She swears she didn't. And she swore on her children's life, and to me, I don't know. I'm a little bit superstitious, so I wouldn't risk saying something like that. But if you guys watch Survivor, people on Survivor lie on their families' lives all the time and go, oh, well, it's just part of the game. So it's possible. But anyway, she's about to take a lie detector test, so let's see what happens. Okay, so they gave the questions to the polygraph examiner. That's like right up front. John Sessa says, did you get the questions? And he said yes. And Lisa's like, okay, so did you give the story to Radar Online? And he said, yeah. And do you know anybody that gave the story to her? She goes, okay, those are the most important questions. And then John's like, well, how can you tell if she lied? And Lisa goes, I'm not lying. And he goes, I know, but I'm just saying, like, how accurate is this? And John, the examiner, said it's almost 100% accurate. Okay, almost 100%, but I feel like it should be questions she doesn't expect. Because couldn't you sort of, I feel like I could pass a lie detector test if I was prepared for if I knew the questions and I prepared myself for them. I feel like I could practice and keep my heart rate down and stuff. I don't know. Could I? I don't know. Maybe not. I do think there are certain people that can shut down their emotions. Oh, I don't know. I feel like I could do it though. Okay, this was a weird opening. I think we're not going to get the taglines. We opened with just seeing Lisa and John Sessa going to the office of this polygraph examiner. And then it looks like it's going to go to a commercial. And then we see Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. We're going to now see the taglines, but it just goes away and we're back to Lisa getting strapped into this test. The other thing I was thinking of, on the other side of the coin, if you are very nervous anyway, couldn't you get a false reading, you're guilty when you're not guilty? I would be afraid of that happening too. John Sessa is telling this polygraph examiner, these are friends she's had for years, and now they're accusing her of selling a story, and they don't believe her. And Lisa's like, I swore on my children's lives. I am innocent, and they don't believe me. The polygraph examiner's like, Okay, well, I'm a neutral party here. I have been giving these tests for a long time, and I will know if she's lying or not. In other words, don't tell me your whole story, lady. Oh my God, you guys. He starts off with the baseline questions. Are you from Texas? She says no. Are you in California right now? Yes. Do you know how to drive a car? Yes. And then he says, do you think Dorit's face has changed in the last year more than her accent? This poor examiner, that's not right. And he's like, he has no sense of humor at all either. He's just like, whatever. I'm just reading these questions. Anyway, Vanderpump starts laughing and she goes, I had to throw that question in there. I don't know, man. This is a joke. And also, you see what I mean about Lisa Vanderpump? Come on. She's not Miss Innocent here. Even during this polygraph test, she's throwing digs at people. Has Dorit's face changed that much? I don't know. I will say this. I remember the first year of Dorit, was it 2 years ago? When the ladies first met Dorit, I think it was Kyle that asked Dorit where she was from. And when she said Connecticut, she's like, you have an accent. Lisa Vanderpump said she does not hear an accent in Dorit. I mean, other than American. She thought Dorit sounded American. Now she's saying Dorit has an accent. I mean, of course she does. We all know Dorit has an accent, but it's just a catty little question, isn't it? Okay, what the hell? Now in Lisa's confessional, she said, so she's laughing and John says is like, well, answer it. And she's like, she's had a head transplant. And then in Lisa's confessional, she said, just don't ask me if Erica is tucking it under. Because there's just some things I can't lie about. Tucking it under? Is she like saying Erica's a dude or what? Like, is she saying Erica is a drag queen? You see what I mean? Like, Lisa's not so nice. So we finally get to the money question. And it's, have you ever given a story to Radar Online about Dorit Kemsley giving a dog to a shelter? I mean, that's pretty specific. Of course, she says no. Oh my God, you guys, these questions. This is nothing more than Lisa's way of sticking it to all the other ladies with these questions. After that question, the question is, do you know who gave a story to Radar Online about Dorit Kemsley giving away a dog? She says no. Next question. And this is how the guy's reading it too. Do you think you will ever forgive the hurtful accusations made by your close friends? Lisa. No. Man, she knows exactly what she's doing, doesn't she? Next question. Do you believe these women who accused you of giving a story to Radar Online are your true friends? Oh my God, Lisa. Guess what? There's zero chance that she's lying on any of the questions of importance. She passed. I never saw that coming. Oh, so then in her confessional, she's like, I don't know what I'm going to do with these questions, if anything. I know what you're going to do with these questions, because this whole thing was filmed for Bravo. Okay, now we have everybody getting ready to go to Hawaii for Camille's wedding. Kyle and Mauricio are going, of course, because Kyle is a bridesmaid and she just got her bridesmaid dress at the 11th hour and it didn't fit and she had to have it adjusted and everything. And we also have Lisa Rinna and Dorit, who are not bringing their husbands, and Teddy and Edwin. And so I think that's it, because Erica is on tour, so she's not going. Okay, so everybody lands in Hawaii, and they love it. It's beautiful. Mauricio said, are you going to be a bridesmaid too, Teddy? And she laughed, and she goes, no, I'm glad I'm even still invited after the camping trip. Okay, well, they're all having fun and settling into their rooms. Lisa Rinna has a sore throat. She ordered hot water with lots of lemon and lots of honey. I mean, I don't know if that's going to come into play later, if she's going to get sick or not, but she's trying to nip it in the bud. Kyle still knows nothing of what's happening, and she's a bridesmaid. She doesn't know what they're doing next, where she's supposed to be, or when. She's just enjoying Hawaii. We get a flashback to last week when she was getting her nails done with Teddy. And Teddy, who had the schedule memorized in her head, she's like, well, there's like paddleboarding and then there's this activity. And Kyle goes, and the wedding's that night? She goes, no. Then the wedding's the next day? And Teddy's like, so... Kyle, thank God you weren't Danielle Staub's bridesmaid. There's no way in hell you would have gotten away with not knowing that schedule. Okay, so now everybody heads down to the beach to meet Camille. And she's down there, and of course David isn't. He's with his friends or something. David, here's the thing. David has wisely decided not to be on camera like some of these other husbands and boyfriends. And honestly, I think that's the way to go. I think those end up ultimately being the men I like the best. The ones I never see and never hear and don't know anything about. So she said, oh, I'm glad you all came. So I know we have a busy day planned, but I just wanted you to all have a minute to relax and enjoy Hawaii the way I love it. Because I've taken my children here, and this is where I went after my divorce. It was very healing. But while I have you here, I wanted to tell you what Lisa Vanderpump said. There you go. That's the real reason why we're here. I'm really starting to think that the whole reason she called Lisa Vanderpump and then ultimately went to her house wasn't as a last-ditch effort to get her to come to the wedding, because she knew she wouldn't. It was probably to just report back to the women what Lisa said, thereby making herself relevant. This is why I should be a Real Housewife next year? ? I mean, she definitely seems like she's working for the Vanderpump slot. I don't know. Let's see what she has to say. Okay, basically she's saying she didn't want to go because of Kyle. Kyle's like, well, I just think that's a terrible reason to tell you she's not going to go to your wedding because of me. And she never responded to any of my texts, and I don't understand why this time is any different than any other. Okay, I have a couple of thoughts. One, okay, come on, Kyle. This is different than any other time. You've never come right out and called her a liar like that, have you? I don't remember that. And everybody is turned against her. So this is very different than it's ever been. Okay, that's one thing. Two, I love how this has turned into a fight between Lisa Vanderpump and Kyle. How is Dorit getting away with this? Dorit gave up a dog, gave it to some God knows who this woman was, because we still haven't heard who she was exactly or what made Dorit think that this woman was such a good home for the dog. That still feels very, very shady to me. It almost seems more plausible that she was embarrassed to give away a second dog and thought, I can't do it, and they wanted to do it very quietly and not have anybody know. So I don't know. PK, somebody knew this woman who agreed to take the dog and bring it to a shelter anonymously. I guess she didn't know the dog was chipped, or I don't know. I don't really want to spread a rumor that is totally unfounded, but it's just kind of what I'm thinking in my head. Okay. I'm not saying I read it anywhere. Nothing. This is just something that seems more believable in my head than this woman came to her house and fell in love with Lucy and wanted to take her. That doesn't seem right to me. There's something's missing with that story. But doesn't matter, because guess what? This whole thing is just a fight between Kyle and Lisa Vanderpump. It has nothing to do with Dorit anymore, right? Even Dorit doesn't believe it. Quick side note, Lisa Rinna's bathing suit. Oh, loving it. Oh, Denise, how did I forget about Denise? My favorite. She's not in Hawaii either because she's working. Well, she's at home right now, but she's waiting for Patrick Muldoon to come over. Isn't that her friend that also slept with Lisa Rinna? I can't remember. Somebody else, I think. in the group. Anywho, they're doing a movie together. They're doing a Christmas movie. And she goes, I'm a summer girl, and I would much rather be in Hawaii celebrating Camille's wedding than going to Connecticut in the winter. But, oh my God, you guys. Denise Richards is the best addition to this show ever. We get so much good Hollywood scoop from her. Okay, so now she says, oh, my ex-husband, Charlie. Yes, we know Charlie Sheen. Came over a couple years ago for Thanksgiving dinner. And she's like, oh, Charlie's got a hooker in the car. And he comes over for dinner. And he's like, oh, I mean, she's in the driveway. And Denise goes, I was like, oh, I'll set another fucking plate. I love her so much, you guys. Okay, so back in Hawaii, everyone's getting ready to go to dinner at Camille's house. And oh my God, Camille's house in Hawaii is freaking gorgeous. Camille and Kyle are talking, and Kyle said, where's your mom? And she said, oh, she's in the hospital. And I don't know what's wrong with her. I guess she's been sick for a long time. But then Kyle's like, oh, well, she'll be here. Will she? She's on the East Coast. You're in Hawaii. She's in the hospital, and the wedding is what? Tomorrow? Doesn't seem likely to me. And also, I don't know if I would, I wouldn't make my mom do that. Traveling takes a lot out of you. I mean, not that I wouldn't want her there. I would. I think I would just tell her, you just rest and, maybe the next wedding. Oh, yeah, her mom has cancer. And Camille had cancer. I forgot. Camille had cancer as well. So, yeah, I mean, I feel bad, but I also think I wouldn't want to put her through the trip, I guess. Okay, so now the ladies are all sitting down at dinner. There's just this giant cheese wheel with pasta in it. It's like served in the cheese. So the guy's like, dig down deep and you'll get a little of that Parmesan in there. And oh my God, it looked yummy. Teddy decides to play a game. And she says to Lisa Rinna, okay, can I get personal for a minute? What is your favorite thing about Harry and your least favorite thing about Harry? And Rinna says, he's the best person I know, is my favorite thing about him. And he chews gum and it's blue. That's her least favorite. In Kyle's confessional, she goes, I think somebody's not being forthcoming. Teddy goes next, and she said, for me, my favorite thing is, well, I can be a bit of a control freak, and everyone's like, no. And she said, but he constantly teases me and makes those moments lighter for me. And my least favorite thing is probably the same thing, that I can't control every aspect of him. Okay, so Edwin's answer is exactly the same as Teddy's. His favorite thing and least favorite thing about her is her organization. He loves that she keeps the house running and organized, but he hates that she's always on him to do things. Then we go to Kyle, and her favorite thing about Mauricio is that he's always upbeat and positive, and her least favorite is his immaturity level. He does not seem immature to me. That one surprised me a little. And now it's Mauricio's turn. Mauricio is so smart. That guy starts with the least favorite so that he can end on a positive note. Smart! Edwin, you should have done that. But he says, my least favorite thing is that she's stubborn. But my favorite thing is that she's loving and giving, and she's a great mother, and she's caring and warm, and I don't know. I love her so much, whatever. And then he leans over and kisses her. And Teddy looks at Edwin and goes, you're so dead. The best part about this whole thing is we skip over Dorit. I don't want to hear anything good or bad about PK. Less is more. Now we hear from Camille. She's talking about David, and she said, my ex-husband had a reputation as being a bad boy in Hollywood. Huh? Charlie Sheen I get, But Kelsey Grammer? A bad boy? Frasier? But David is a 9-to-5er. Different ideology, different personality. Okay. Okay, so everyone's getting back in their little van to go back to the hotel. And Kyle goes, "You know what I love about your wife? She's so organized." And they're laughing and cracking up. I mean, they're basically teasing Edwin for saying, that's the thing you loved about your wife, especially when Mauricio's was so much more romantic and loving, you know. And Teddy goes, "You know what I need to organize? This whole thing to be ended right now." Oh, God. Edwin, I think trying to make it better, steps in it again because he goes, "I guess what I'm trying to say is you don't ever want that Playboy chick that everybody's trying to fuck." Lisa Rinna pops her head up from the last row and she goes, "What do you mean? I was in Playboy twice." Oh, Edwin. And Edwin goes, "I had no idea. I'm sorry." And Kyle goes, "Your wife is not Playboy material?" And Mauricio goes, "You like organized women." It is, I mean, everybody's cracking up, but oh, I wouldn't want to be going back to their room. Well, I guess everything was okay because now it's the next day and Edwin and Teddy are having fun in the water, going down the slide and enjoying the day. And Dorit heads over to Lisa Rinna's room and she's got laryngitis. She's got like Cepacol, Chloraseptic, and Halls. You know, she's got all her meds there, but like she just lost her voice. She said she feels fine, but she can't talk. So now we see Edwin and Teddy and they're in the hot tub. Edwin is wearing a Skyline baseball cap. I am so irritated by the pushing of Edwin's business. This is Cut Fitness all over again. I haven't seen the top of Eddie Judge's head in 2 years. And what, this is going to be the same for Edwin? Okay, they're having a whole discussion about Teddy's business. And it has gotten so big. She's got 35 trainers, thousands of clients. And somebody has approached her to buy half of her business. She's not sure she wants to sell half of it away. It would be good financially to do it, and it would be good because it would give her more time with the kids. But she loves her company and she built it herself. And so I understand all of that. Almost like that company is her baby too. She feels so much pride and she's not sure she wants to give it away. And she's loving it. It's hard to give something away that you love, but she was getting a little teary-eyed because of the kids, and the kids don't want her to go away all the time. She doesn't have a lot of time with them, and I feel bad for her because that's a horrible catch-22, you know? On the one hand, they're only little once, and this time is like precious and you can't get it back. On the other hand, Edwin actually made a good point. If you're happy, you're giving your children a happy mother. They can sense your joy and your happiness and they'll be okay. He said you don't want to resent them because you gave up what you love for them. And yeah, I mean, it's a tough call. Okay, now we are in Middletown, Connecticut, and we check in on the set of Denise's holiday movie, and oh my God, you guys, I can't wait to see it. It's probably going to be super cheesy, but I have a little bit of an affinity for these really cheesy, like Hallmark Christmas movies. I know. Oh my God. I should recap it with you guys. We should all watch it, and I'll recap it. Wouldn't that be fun? I don't know. But I can't wait. And Barbara Eden is in it from I Dream of Jeannie. Oh, you know it's going to be bad. No. You know, it's probably going to be like very saccharine sweet, but I still can't wait. Side note, it looks like Barbara Eden is going to be Santa Claus. In Denise's confessional, she goes, I would love to be a genie like an I Dream of Jeannie and live in that bottle. I'd love that. And then she does that and they have her disappear. You know, when I was a kid and used to watch that, I too loved the inside of the bottle. When she was in there, I'd be like, oh my God, I would stay in the bottle all day. It was like just a circular, like, bench with all those pillows on it and stuff. Now there's a little scene of Kyle and Mauricio having breakfast. I don't know, it was a little throwaway. He's like, what are we going to do with the Umansky name? Should we have another child and try for a boy? Kyle's like, do you know how old I am? No, not going to happen. So then he said, well, I do want to talk to you. We need to get like our will signed and everything, finish all that paperwork with our wills. And she goes, oh, it was so depressing. And he goes, yeah, well, but it's not fair to our kids if we don't. And she goes, I know. Okay, now it's nighttime, and it wouldn't be Housewives without the obligatory vacation scene where they are eating outside at a table in a beautiful setting. And this is no exception. Camille is busy with wedding stuff, and Kyle does wonder if, as a bridesmaid, she should be doing something too, but she's like, I don't know. I don't really know what the responsibilities of a bridesmaid are. But I mean, I wasn't invited. Easiest bridesmaid gig ever. Okay, so this is weird. I think Kyle's trying to tell us that Mauricio's high. Weren't they together? Wouldn't she know? Did he go off somewhere? Were there like a few hours in the day where he was unaccounted for? I mean, I don't know, but he's acting very weird at the table. It's kind of funny. Everybody's laughing. And Rinna's just having hot tea because she still can't talk. Okay, now Kyle tells a story that seems very coincidental. She said, all right, guys, I have to tell you something. I found out my daughter Alexia's very good friend, her house was burglarized, and they were having construction work done at the time of the burglary. So they took all of the construction workers to go get lie detector tests. And when they were there, guess who else was having a lie detector test done? Lisa Vanderpump. Doesn't that seem like a real coincidence? That they're just happened to be there at the same time Lisa was there. I've been doing these recaps for over 2 years now, and I think I've just become really jaded and very suspicious of certain things. You know, I've recognized patterns and all that. The first thing that came to my mind was, so Bravo needed a way for the ladies to know about the lie detector test. So how can we fabricate a story that they would find out? I suppose it could be just a real coincidence. So she's like, guess who was there? And Teddy goes, who? And she goes, Lisa Vanderpump was there getting a lie detector test. And everyone's like, no. What? Why? She said because she's trying to prove that what she's accused of wasn't true. And Lisa Rinna said, how do they... Her voice is gone. How do they know what questions to ask? Did they just give him a piece of paper and say, here, these are the questions to ask me? And then, of course, Bravo flashes back to John Sessa going, did you get the questions we gave you? Oh, God. So funny. Oh, guys, I am digging the new husky voice of Lisa Rinna. I hope she doesn't get her voice back for a long time because I want to imitate her voice all the time. It's a little bit sexier than Luann. Dorit said, you could strip away all of the he said, she said. But why do you think she does it? Rinna, because it's how she wants to look to the world. She wants to be perceived as perfect, a saint. Oh, new favorite voice. So Kyle says to the confession cam, if Lisa were to say, here's my paper showing that I passed this test, do you think that's going to change anybody's opinion? Okay, theoretically, I guess that should change your opinion because you didn't think she was telling the truth and she took a test to prove that she was telling the truth. But I think it's what I said earlier. Maybe that was never really the issue. Maybe the real issue was that these ladies believe she's capable of it, and they're tired of that. I don't know, because I'll tell you right now, any one of those ladies is capable of it. They're all the same. They're all catty and conniving, and they would all do it. That's why I love them. Oh, maybe Mauricio is high. Because that kind of dies down. And Dorit goes, okay, so the wedding is tomorrow. And Mauricio said, who's getting married again? Everybody just cracked up. Okay, finally, it is the day of the wedding. I feel like they've been there a while. Kyle is getting her dress on. You know what? That dress is actually pretty. That bridesmaid dress. I changed my mind. I think I didn't like it at first. I know she didn't like it because it had cap sleeves. But the thing is, when you pull the top down off the shoulder a little bit, it does make the sleeve a little longer. In any case, it's pretty. Navy blue, I think, is very pretty. And Kyle looks great. Kyle looks super pretty. Dorit's helping her with her dress, and Kyle's like, I should be helping Camille with her dress. Yeah, you are the world's worst bridesmaid. But you know what? Camille needs no help. Now we're over at Camille's house, and she's got, a team of people fixing her hair and everything else. And guess what? Her mom is there. And she looks great. I think she looks better than she did. They showed us a flashback of like 2010 or something, and her mom did not look well then. I think she looks really healthy. Side note, all of her real bridesmaids are there too, because they all have the matching robe and everything. Yeah, I don't think Kyle got the robe. Kyle's just in a hotel somewhere. Okay, so now we see the other ladies getting ready, and it's like 28 minutes until the ceremony. Lisa's in a beautiful pink dress. Teddy's in a pretty blue dress. I was afraid when I saw Rinna's pink dress, because didn't Dorit pack a pink dress? But Dorit is in a leopard print dress now. And I forgot to mention this earlier. When Kyle had gone into Dorit's room, she made fun of the fact that Dorit had 7 pairs of sunglasses for this weekend trip. And she's like, I need options. So now we see Dorit trying on all her different sunglasses with her dress, like which one goes great. And they are all really cool though. And my pick is the round ones. Those looked super sharp. Then we see Camille in her dress, and you guys, I am underwhelmed. I don't like it's like a big lace, like flower lace pattern. I don't, do you guys like it? Leave me a comment down below and let me know what you think of her dress. It's just not doing it for me. Kyle has shown up at her house, and, she's like, is there anything I can do? I want to be useful. Even Camille laughed. Oh no, you don't have to do anything. I don't think she was like a real bridesmaid. That's my guess. Anyway, they get in this cute little tiny car, and they're driving to wherever the ceremony is. Now we cut back to the hotel, and Lisa Rinna is sitting in the van ready to go to the wedding. And now it's like 10 minutes late to the wedding. And she is the only one in that van. And I'm wondering, where's Teddy? Right? The accountability coach? All right, I guess they were only 16 minutes late. All the rest of them came down. And oh my God, this was no Denise Richards' wedding. Because they were almost late. 16 minutes was almost late. They just jumped out of that car, and Camille was standing right there ready to walk down the aisle. So they're all like, sorry, and they're rushing to their seats. Oh, I like how this wedding is set up. It's beautiful. It's outside, and it's kind of like an in the round situation with a gazebo in the center where I assume that they'll be getting married. Okay, Camille and David say their I do's, and that is where this episode ends. Thanks for joining me. Please subscribe to Jill Informed if you haven't already. Please give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and don't forget to leave a comment. I love to hear from you. I'm going to be right back here next Tuesday at 1 p.m. Central Time for the next recap of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. And I hope you will be there too. Bye.